Happy Tuesday to you all. Welcome back to Reinventing Your Career. It's day 20. I was going to say 29. No, day 19. We're not there yet. We're almost there. It's a 30-day series that we're doing here on talking about career changes. And the goal is to help you make a career change before the end of the year. So I have been live for the last 19 days. If you've missed it, if you're brand new to this, you can go on my YouTube channel or my LinkedIn page to be able to catch up on what's happened over the last couple of weeks. And also you can also access as I was saying, the replays on my YouTube, but you can also see that there's some upcoming events. I have a couple of guests coming up on next week. Yeah, 2 of them next week. So that will be exciting as well. So if there's specific topics that you're looking for, just check out the upcoming ones to know what titles they are, and then you'll be able to tune in for those conversations. If we've never met, welcome. My name is Lisa Apia. I'm a certified career strategist and executive coach. I've helped over 400 professionals make career changes, land new roles, and get promoted. I myself am an introvert who has been promoted 5 times in less than 8 years. And that is the reason why I do what I do. I work a lot with introverts, helping them to be able to navigate career spaces and become confident, bold leaders that get recognized for the strengths that they have instead of having to change who they are to succeed at work. And today we're talking about interviews. We're in step 3 of the Career Breakthrough Blueprint. And this is all about marketing yourself, branding yourself. And we've talked about resumes. We've talked about LinkedIn. So now we're talking about interviews. And interviews is somewhere that a lot of people get stuck. Sometimes they are able to get the calls for the interviews, but to actually land it and get that yes is sometimes challenging. So we're going to spend the next 2 or 3 days talking about interviews. And we'll start off by talking about the fact that there's different styles of interview questions. So there are traditional interview questions, knowledge-based, situational, behavioral, stress interview questions. We're going to explore all of those types of interview questions over the next couple of days. But today we're focusing on traditional interview questions, which are, the interview questions like, tell us about yourself. And that's the one that we're going to be focusing on today. And traditional interview questions often are to get a sense of who you are, get a sense of your background, and get a sense of what you bring to the table. And the main thing that you have to keep in mind with a traditional interview question is you always want to connect your response back to the need or the why of the company. There is a reason why they're hiring at this time. So as much as the question maybe tell us about yourself, you need to be able to connect who you are to the problem that the company has. And that's your ultimate goal when you're answering traditional interview questions. So, for example, if we're answering an interview question, tell us about yourself, a framework that you can use that can help you to be able to frame your answer is to start with the present. So where you are right now, especially if you're someone who's making a career change, it is important that you speak about this new identity that you're taking on, which is who you are in the new field or the new industry, new role that you're considering. What you did in the past, so present, past, what did you do in the past? How does it connect to what you're looking to do currently? And then the last step is future. So then you focus on where you're looking to go, which is ultimately that opportunity that you have to connect what you did in the past, what you want to do presently with the need that the company has. And this is the place where a lot of people sometimes forget. Yes, the question is tell us about yourself, but this is not an opportunity for you to do a walkthrough of your resume. They already have your resume, right? And if they wanted any clarification on your resume, then they would ask you for clarification. So answering the question, tell us about yourself, is not a walkthrough of your resume. It's not the time for you to say, I had a job here, I did this, I did that, and I did this. And, I've been on the other side, the person who's doing the interviews, and you ask someone this kind of a question, and then they spend 10 minutes walking you through the resume, and you're just like, okay, where do we go from here, right? I mean, I have the resume. There's no need to walk me through the resume unless, the question is walk me through your resume. But tell us about yourself is really an opportunity for you to speak about your value proposition. What are you bringing to the table? What are you doing currently? What have you done in the past? How does it connect to the role that you're interested in now? And you always have to remember that interviews are an opportunity for you to make a connection. As much as, yes, you're providing technical answers, you're speaking about your experience, your knowledge, and all those things, you are being interviewed by a person most of the time, because now we have interviews being done by AI. But at the end of the day, they still get reviewed, right? So you always want to ensure that you're making that emotional connection, even when you're responding to a simple question like, tell us about yourself. And different ways that you can make that emotional connection is, for example, speaking about passion, a passion that you have. You don't want to go off and say why you're so passionate about this new industry and all that, but just a simple statement that can show why you're passionate about the company or the product that they have, the service that they have. Another way that you can convey some kind of emotion is through values, beliefs, through personal impact that you've been able to make. You can add an accomplishment in there. You can share a win that connects to what the company is trying to do. You can also talk about and something you're excited for the future. So for example, you've talked about present, past, and future, something that you're excited for as you're getting into this new role. But in order to be able to do all these things and to do it in a concise manner, you definitely need to do your research on the company and you need to do your research on the role. And I want to say on day 2 or 3, or in the very beginning of the series, when we started Reinventing Your Career earlier in the month, I did walk you through how to do research on a company to be able to present that information in your resume, in interviews, and also on your LinkedIn profile. So definitely you want to go back to that session in case you missed it, because in that one, I really break down how you do your research. And it wasn't just helpful for your resume, but you're going to see that it's going to help you in your interviews as well. Because the more you know about them as people, them as a company, their service, their product, the easier it is going to be for you to actually make a connection and to speak to something that is top of mind for them, because that's really what you're trying to do. You're trying to make a connection and speak to something that is top of mind for them, so that the interview doesn't feel like it's an interrogation where they're just asking you a question, you're answering, but it really feels like a conversation. And in order to have a conversation, there needs to be some kind of commonality. There needs to be a flow in how the communication is going. So that's how you respond to the interview question, tell us about yourself. Tomorrow, we're going into more detail about the other styles of interview questions. We'll talk about situational interview questions and behavioral interview questions, because those are common ones that come up. So we're going to talk about a framework that can help you to respond to those interview questions. So definitely tune in tomorrow and I will share more insight on that. So have a lovely evening and I will talk to you tomorrow. See you then.